the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Since Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia edin nisu adihunu eba betu edwa about so no ebe president anioma ono ebe ye ede aboa Ghana se okopie mu ewo NDC amanyokuo mu a kanea ese Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia atija bi ene de egu wom so ene won ho hyehye wom ba bi a obi abetena bia na adane ayam hyehye nko ameno kasa die omuntimi enjai Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia edibo nene ukopie mu ewo good morning Ghana na enye asem kotoa yewura Sammy Gyamfi ono ye communication officer dema NDC amanyukuo no na yewura Richard Ahiagba ono nso eye communication officer edema NPP amanyukuo no ne bie floor Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia anisu adehunu na afi John Dramani Mahama anisu adehunu afi de Sammy Gyamfi na ntimi nka John Dramani Mahama anisu adehunu ya atake Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na enye asem kotoa yenkotie
tangential, and now legitimately I can use it here. Yes. Tangential, peripheral, erratic, regressive argument made by Sammy. This same argument lost them the election in 2020. I will not engage Sammy in this peripheral, talk plenty, no substance conversation. He started with his lips very softly done when he came from makeup. Look. He's spoken till he's foaming at the lips. He go explain tire because the matter is simple and straightforward. Dr. Bawumia is a part of a government. He talked about the government's record. This is what Sammy has been discussing from when he became communication officer. This government has done what? This is the same message he's been talking about. Today he's brought a vision going forward. Tell me the value you place on this, the value you don't place on this. In relation to what you are offering, that's what the conversation is. It is not about complaining and trying to hit me and all of that. The point is that, what is your vision? That's what we're asking. What is your vision? You haven't talked about it. I was hoping that you take the liberty to say that this is what we are going to do, so that we'll look at the problem we are in today as a country, and then put side by side your solution and say that this is the way forward. You have not offered one. See that in a way, there is this proverb or saying that says that which means like a son is a son. Okay, so it's a son who commits the mother to be insulted. You get it? Okay. So that if your son doesn't go to create any problem, you, the parent, will not be insulted. What Sammy has done is to provoke me to get into an argument that may affect His Excellency, the former president, and I don't want to do that. But I will refer you to some evidence that exists. Much of what he talked about, and I think I want to correct that because it's a complete misinformation, is the narrative of the NDC to foist lies on the former president, the vice president, to create him in the nature of a liar. He's not. That's the only thing that serves their narrative, and they keep saying it. And Sammy, it doesn't matter if you say it 1 million times. By his performance, by the look and feel and experience of Bawumia, you cannot say that man is a liar. And everything he has said about the economy, in opposition and present, have pounded out. Everything he has said has pounded out exactly. Nothing he said that is a lie. The outcomes that you are seeing, for which reason you will say, oh, he said this and it didn't happen, it is contingent upon the situation and the environment that he's operating in. But given the environment you had back then, everything Bawumia said in the lecture before we won the election in 2016 holds true as principles that are true today and are true yesterday. So that fact must also be made. So it doesn't matter how many times you want to charge your communicators to go out there and say, oh, Bawumia is a liar, Bawolaya, and all that crap you guys have been talking about. It is not true. He's not a liar. And I say it's a crap. I know you jittered a bit. It's a crap because it's not true. Look, let's make the comparison. In 2003, when the bill for the national health insurance was introduced in Parliament, the NDC opposed it. The NDC opposed it. The NDC opposed it collectively. And the former president, this is an account, this is a media account, you can read it, I'll give it to you. He opposed it when the NDC staged the walkout. The former president also walked out with them. Now, later on, when they were canvassing for power, they said now they will introduce one-time premium for the same national health insurance that they opposed. Which one-time premium that they wanted to implement, they didn't even implement. Now, so look at this scenario and tell me who is a liar. Somebody who promised I will do ABCD. One, he opposed the thing, now he's for it, flip-flopped, and said that, give me occasion, I'll implement it. Didn't implement that. Did you implement the one-time premium? No. You didn't. So in this situation, who is a liar? There's evidence to your lies. This is not you talking about any value, any principle, anything. You are just saying that I will do A, and you didn't do A. You got a chance. If you are saying that you made a point that the way somebody talks to you when he's looking for power is different from how they behave. Why? You take that as the fact. So the way the former president, don't.
What law are you saying when you were passing we walked out? What law? I just want to know.
Just say.
Is that NHIS law?
Just hold on, listen. When you get a chance, you can deal with it. I'll give you that. You can read that. You can read it. The point I am making is that you want to demonstrate somebody as a liar. And this is the evidence for you. Okay? Let me give you the link. I have other things to quote from you. You understand? So, evidence of the former president's flip-flop, which technically you call it flip-flop, but if you want to be gross, like Sammy was, and then being outrageous, you can say he lied. When it came to the Zongo Development Fund that this government wanted to put together, the former president and the NDC argued that it was a misapplication of funds. And therefore, it wasn't a proper use of the taxpayers' money. But they turned around in their manifesto 2020 or so to say that they will use that money to build mortuaries in Zongo communities. Yes, it's here. I'll have you read it.
Is that they will use the Zongo Development Fund to build
yes, rather convert that to build the mortuaries.
Who said that?
I'll give you the report. I'm just reading the report to you just like you did.
Who said that?
It's a former president. That's what it's attributed to you. Mahama said. I'm not saying. I can read it for you. He said what? Again, the Zongo Development Fund, which in the view of the president, is bringing development to the people in Zongo communities. He recounted how former President Mahama said of the use of Zongo Development Fund for the provision of ICT facilities and AstroTurf pitches represented a misapplication of funds only for the former president to turn around and promise the construction of mortuaries and legalizing Okada.
So who is speaking? Who is that?
Huh?
Who is the person speaking?
That's the president making the case.
President Kufuor.
Yes.
Okay, so so it's not John Mahama who's saying that he will use Zongo Development to build mortuary.
No, but the point here is.
No, when you were speaking, the impression I got was that President Mahama
so that is a fund.
He will use Zongo Fund to build mortuaries.
Okay, so
that's what I heard you say.
Okay, so the point is that in developing Zongos to build ICT centers and invest in building AstroTurfs and all of that, he says that is misapplication of funds. But rather what he will do for the Zongo community is to build mortuaries. Okay? So if ICT and AstroTurfs for youth to use is bad enough, mortuaries is what he is proposing to build for the people of the Zongo community.
Right.
We talked in 2016, we argued and begged the NDC, please don't cancel nursing and teacher training allowance. They did cancel it. They canceled it. And even the former president went as far as to say that if it were about losing the election, then he would freely lose the election, but he would cancel it all the same. Just in 2020 to come and make a fresh argument that he will continue the nursing and teacher training allowances. So if you are looking for a lie, there's abundance of it to be found in your quarters. But the point we want to have, the debate we want to have here to going forward, Sammy, is not about a regressive conversation of yesterday over which you have lost an election in 2020. We want to have a progressive conversation. We know as a people that we are in a difficult situation. All the economic conversations you are having, it is your problem fundamentally. The NDC's problem fundamentally. It is the dishonesty, okay, in setting aside the real happening of COVID and Russia-Ukraine. You have decided to have a selective amnesia. You have perceptual selectivity when it comes to the events that have taken place in this country that have resulted directly in the failure or the lack of performance of the economy, which is not only here, but it is global. And I remember, Sammy, because when you were in opposition, and the economy was struggling, for which reason you had to go. Okay. Well, for which you have to go to IMF. You guys were telling us that it's because China was not doing well. That was your justification for why the economy was fostering, why you guys have to go to IMF. Something that is happening in local China has become the coal that has catched our economy in Ghana. But we are talking about a global issue that has affected not only Ghana, but the entire world and the best economies in the world, not only Ghana. But then you conveniently decide to set that aside. And I think that is more or less the most intellectual dishonesty ever perpetuated on any group of people. That is what the NDC is doing. Dr. Bawumia offered a vision. And my invitation to Sammy is that let's discuss the vision. Let's put His Excellency, the former president's vision, and vis-a-vis Dr. Bawumia's vision, which in essence says that he will provide an inclusive leadership to build a country that assures food self-sufficiency, safe, prosperous, and dignified future for all Ghanaians, to create sustainable jobs with meaningful pay for all, and for Ghana to participate in the fourth industrial revolution. That is the vision. That is the future Ghana is looking forward to. That's the future we must compete for. The NDC must bring its own vision so that we can determine that still they remain in the past, which I think they are. But Ghana, Ghana, most likely on December 7th, will vote for a future that is inclusive, a future that puts Ghana on the map to compete in the fourth industrial revolution.
Yeah,
10 minutes.
Thank you, Doc.
10 minutes.
Richard says that all the things I said are lies. No substance. Yet, as communications director of the NPP, he could not point out one thing I have said on this platform that is a lie.
But see, I give you more time.
That speaks volumes of you. You had 10 minutes. You couldn't prove one lie.
But you had one.
That shows how
you couldn't convince anybody.
Please, I didn't hear you. That shows how empty you are. You always say somebody doesn't have substance. No. He is the one talking about substance. And you are saying everything I've said is a lie. Man of substance, show me one lie I've told. You were given 10 minutes.
Give me your 10 minutes and I'll say.
I told you Bawumia is a liar.
Yes.
I told you the lies he peddled in opposition when he said they were building a harbour at Cape Coast. I listed the lies for you. Show me one that Bawumia didn't say. I told you the lies Bawumia has peddled in his latest speech. From 2 million jobs to they started online passport application to online passport application has eradicated corruption, that they have done more fiber optics than any government. I have gone through the list, a plethora of issues with references and facts. Show me one which is not true. Communications director, you are here speaking grammar. Doc, he asked a question, what is your vision? Is it that they have a hearing problem, or they have deliberately decided to be deaf? You haven't heard John Mahama talk about 24-hour economy. You haven't heard even me talk about 24-hour economy in my conclusion during my first submission on this platform. You haven't heard John Mahama say that under him he will reform the Bank of Ghana and rejuvenate the almost collapsed banking and financial sector, and that he will give opportunity to experienced banking hands who were laid off to secure their careers once more and move from their menial jobs, the menial jobs they were forced into. You haven't heard John Mahama announce that he will complete all abandoned and ongoing projects instead of rushing to start new ones, and that he will carry out an inventory of all hospitals, schools, electrification, water and road projects which have stalled or have been abandoned, and make annual budgetary allocation for completing them. You haven't heard President Mahama speak about the fact that his next government will establish a governance advisory council to help improve political governance, curb corruption, and ensure respect for human rights, and that this council will have representatives from civil society, religious bodies, traditional leaders, the media, and so on. You haven't heard President Mahama speak about the fact that his next government will abolish ex gratia, a promise that Bawumia is doing copycats, trying to play catch up, copy, no originality. You haven't heard, you don't know that President Mahama originated the idea, he owns it, and Bawumia cannot steal it. You don't know that President Mahama spoke of completing the constitution review process that we started long before your copy vice president, who is playing catch up, decided to steal it. You don't know, and you're asking me to educate you on John Mahama's vision. You don't know that John Mahama has indicated that his government will set up a value for money unit where this independent value for money unit will be responsible for scrutinizing any government procurement above $5 billion as part of his fight against corruption. You haven't heard President Mahama say that he will set up a commission of inquiry to investigate the matter of looted state lands. You haven't heard President Mahama say that under him we will not collateralize any statutory fund for a loan. You haven't heard President Mahama say that he's going to review our tax exemption regime and ensure that exemptions are beneficial to the country. You haven't heard President Mahama say that he will review the laws governing the extractive sector with the aim of increasing Ghana's stake in our natural resources. You haven't heard President Mahama speaking about bringing back Tor and Valco on stream to play their role in this economy. You haven't heard him talk about the modernization of agriculture, setting up of farming centers, farming service centers, and farmer cooperatives, supporting these farmers with implements, with tractors and so on. You haven't heard him talk about establishing factories in every region based on their comparative advantage, and that the people of the Bono region will get cashew processing factories, cocoa growing regions will get cocoa processing factories, the tomato processing regions will get tomato processing factories.
You
haven't heard that? So it is either you have chosen to be deaf by choice, or you have a hearing problem. And I can go on and on and on and on. He has said he will pay assembly members allowances. He said he will pay 20% allowance to rural teachers. He has said he will complete the Tammy Dam irrigation project. He will improve the implementation of free SHS, which Bawumia has repeated, improve free SHS. So he acknowledges that free SHS has to be improved. Doc, the list is endless.
It's an IMF document.
The vision has been outlined. And Don Mahama just doesn't promise. His record is there in every sector. Tangible, visible. His economic record is there, unassailable. Bawumia comes nowhere close. I have told you, show me one economic matrix Don Mahama bequeathed to you which is better today than it was. One.
Okay,
let
me show it to you.
Now, Doc, Richard, who claims to be truthful, now says that we should, even before I get it, says we should discuss Bawumia's vision. Who has time to discuss Bawumia's vision? Before we discuss his vision, you should move us from taxation to production and arrest the dollar and bring it to 4 cities. Then we can take him serious and discuss his vision. All the things you said, you are flattered to deceive on all of them. You have scammed us on all the things you said. You want us to discuss what vision? What vision? These latest scams? And then, conspicuously missing in his speech was the issue of LGBTQ.